What makes a country powerful? Between Brazil and France, which one would you consider the more powerful country? Brazil seems like the obvious choice. It's the largest country in South America. Every major decision in the region goes through Brasilia, and twice of Europe can fit into the Latin American nation. But while all of that might be enough to consider Brazil a superpower, the International Strategic Analysis claims France is still more powerful of the two. ISA determines power rankings based on 7 categories: economy, demography, military, environmental and natural resources, politics, culture, and technology. So when it came down to it, France was determined to be stronger, one of the strongest countries in the world, actually. Here are the top 7 most powerful countries in the world right now. Number 7, the United Kingdom. While most people expected the United Kingdom to be here on this list, a lot of them anticipated it to be ranked higher, possibly even at the top spot, and that's not a far-fetched idea. You see, there was a time when Britain controlled most of the world, 56 sovereign states, although not all at the same time. But for an island nation that's ranked 80th in the world in terms of size, this was a major feat. Britain held a strategic advantage over the rest of the world in the 18th and 19th centuries, and that was the fact that it was a nation-state. Simply, policy and lawmakers in Britain worked toward bettering their economy, defense, and finances. However, there was only so much that they could improve with the resources that they had readily available in the mainland. Britain was one of the first countries in the modern world that sought to look elsewhere for economic advantages, particularly in Asia. The British adopted advanced systems that helped them govern the people of India in the 19th and 20th centuries. They were able to fund technology, finance, and development sectors back home from the money they generated from India. There are a lot of negative connotations attached to colonization, and the UK has faced severe criticism in today's world. However, they found a way to benefit from the system when they could. But how does that influence the UK's position as a global powerhouse today? Britain was able to modify and develop its sectors before most of Europe caught up. This meant that the earliest trade routes to the continent were to and from the United Kingdom. This was also feasible because of the UK's strategic placement and the establishment of the English Channel. The ISA's rankings are based on numbers, and the UK has one of the highest GDPs in the world today, $3.089 trillion. Furthermore, the UK has been able to allocate enough funds to its defense budget to grow the Royal Navy. It's still as powerful, if not more, as it once was. It's the 5th most powerful military in the world today, with a power ranking of 0.143, as determined by PW Live. The UK also enjoys a more advanced foreign policy and more established diplomatic ties with the rest of the world. Historically, the United Kingdom has served as the focal point for European diplomacy, and that had a lot to do with its position as one of the big 3s in the European Union. On that note, why is the UK ranked in the 7th spot? In 2020, the UK announced its decision to leave the European Union following a 2016 referendum that called for the sovereignty of Britain. The public voted on whether the country should or should not stay in the EU, and the masses believed it was in their best interest to leave. They had their reasons: entry into the free market, a direct trade agreement with the United States, and allocation of funds for projects at home. As to why the UK is ranked in the 7th spot, none of those projects have materialized. In fact, because of Brexit, the UK has seen a significant decline in trade since leaving the European single market, inadvertently affecting its strategic position in Europe. Number 6, France. In the 6th place, France has emerged as a global powerhouse. France is also considered a superpower because of its ability to exert control and influence over most of Europe, and the fact that several nations are still under active French rule, particularly in Africa. Like the UK, France also capitalized on resources from the rest of the world in the 18th and 19th centuries, using the funds to improve its sectors back home. As a result, France has a GDP of $2.77 trillion, ranking 11th in military rankings, and the 7th largest economy in the world. But how do these numbers compare to the rest of the world? What makes France more powerful than other countries? Global politics. France holds key positions in several international coalitions, such as the United Nations Security Council as one of the founding members. As such, global issues are overseen by France and other members of the UNSC. France, particularly because of its diplomatic ties and trade, holds a great position in world politics. France holds significant diplomatic leverage and responsibility in matters of international peace and security. Its status as a permanent member is underscored by its consistent use of veto power, having exercised it over 80 times since joining the Security Council in 1945, and as one of the 5 prominent members today. France maintains active participation in international diplomacy. The country ranks consistently high in global diplomatic engagement indices. The French Foreign Ministry has conducted over 300 diplomatic visits to various countries and international organizations. Besides this, France also plays a role in conflict resolution efforts worldwide. The country has contributed troops to numerous peacekeeping missions under the United Nations, with French military personnel currently deployed in several countries. As a founding member of the European Union and NATO, France collaborates closely with its European and transatlantic allies on security matters. Additionally, they maintain a network of bilateral defense agreements with countries across Africa, the Middle East, and Asia, further extending France's reach and influence. Number 5. Japan. While considered one of the smallest nations in the world, ranked 62nd, the Asian nation has proved time and time again that it's one of the world's most advanced countries. Japan places innovation first. The country has a strong work culture that favors a boosting economy. While Japan saw a dip in rankings after the Second World War, the country regained its former footing by allocating funds primarily to 2 divisions, military and tech. With the world's 3rd largest economy, Japan excels in industries like automobiles and electronics, driven by companies like Toyota and Sony. The country invests heavily in research and development, spending about 3.5% of its GDP on innovation, leading to numerous patents. Japan holds over 500,000 active patents, showcasing its innovation capacity. Despite limits on traditional military forces, Japan maintains a modern self-defense forces. Its defense budget surpasses $48 billion annually, with investments in missile defense systems and fighter jets. As such, Japan collaborates closely with allies like the United States, hosting the largest contingent of U.S. military personnel outside the U.S. Japan actively participates in global defense cooperation to enhance security efforts worldwide. Quite obviously, Japan prioritizes innovation in defense, with significant investments in areas like unmanned aerial vehicles and cyber defense. Its defense-related R&D spending exceeded $1.2 billion in 2023. Number 4. Russia. In light of the ongoing Russo-Ukraine war, Russia, the largest country by land area in the world, saw a dip in rankings, primarily due to embargoes and barricades by the West to deplete Russian funds that would have otherwise gone into its defense budget. On that note, Russia has one of the strongest armies in the world, number 2, behind only the United States, according to PW Live. Russia's ranking as one of the world's most powerful countries, however, has less to do with its military and more with its strategic importance as a key player in world trade. Despite the former Soviet Union often being targeted by the West and embargoes existing for decades, Russia has maintained a place as one of the top 5 most powerful countries in the world, although admittedly, it used to be ranked higher. The biggest thing Russia has to offer is energy. The country has a vast supply of natural gas and oil, which it often exports to Europe and Asia, making Russia a leader in the global energy market. Currently, Russia supplies over 30% of Europe's natural gas imports and 10% globally. As far as trade is concerned, Russia's dedication to building one of the world's strongest armies also translates to the country standing out as a major arms trader. Russia allocates $75 billion to its defense, one of the highest in the world. Russia stands out as a major exporter, accounting for around 21% of global arms exports. By leveraging its energy resources, arms exports, and military strength, Russia asserts its influence on the world stage, shaping geopolitical dynamics and participating in global security initiatives. Its involvement in regional conflicts, diplomatic engagements, and strategic partnerships further solidifies its position as a key player in international relations. Number 3. India. With a population exceeding 1.4 billion people, India is the world's most populous country. India's labor force, which numbers over 500 million people, contributes to its diverse economy as one of the fastest growing globally, with a nominal GDP of approximately $3.417 trillion, making it the 5th largest economy in the world. India's influence as a superpower is evident in its active participation in international organizations and its leadership in regional affairs. As a key player in Asia, India shapes regional security, economic integration, and diplomatic engagements. Its role in organizations like BRICS, the G20, and the United Nations reflects its global aspirations and growing clout on the world stage. A significant factor in India's rise is its dedication to improving its technology sector. India is a global IT powerhouse. With its information technology and business process management, the IT BPM industry generated over $194 billion in revenue in 2021. Initiatives like Digital India and Make in India are designed to enhance technological infrastructure and promote innovation. India's military advancements also play a crucial role in its power dynamics. With an annual defense budget exceeding $70 billion, India maintains one of the world's largest and most advanced armed forces. It possesses a robust arsenal, including nuclear weapons, advanced missile systems, and a growing naval fleet. India also has strategic partnerships, such as the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue with the United States, Japan, and Australia. Number 2. China. With a population of 1.4 billion people, China is in a virtual tie for the world's most populous country. This vast demographic base provides a substantial labor force of over 780 million. China's strategic importance in Asia cannot be overstated. As the largest economy in the region, China influences major economic, political, and security decisions across Asia. Its assertive policies in the South China Sea, strong economic ties with neighboring countries, and leadership in regional organizations such as the Shanghai Cooperation Organization emphasize its dominant role. On the global stage, China has established itself as a key player, challenging American influence in international politics, economics, and technology. Every major decision in Asia, from trade agreements to security policies, is invariably influenced by China's stance, underscoring its central role in regional and global affairs. It's the world's largest exporter and a pivotal player in global supply chains. The Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to enhance trade and infrastructure networks across Asia, Europe, and Africa, highlights China's strategic intent to solidify its role as a global trade leader. China's technological advancements, particularly in 5G, telecommunications, and artificial intelligence, have positioned it at the forefront of the global tech race. Companies like Huawei and Tencent exemplify China's technological prowess. China is a powerhouse with a GDP of approximately $19.4 trillion, making it the second largest economy globally, just behind the United States. Its defense budget is the second largest in the world, at around $230 billion, reflecting significant investments in modernizing its military capabilities, including advancements in cyber warfare, space technology, and artificial intelligence. And number 1, the United States of America. Lastly, the United States of America is ranked the most powerful country in the world for several reasons. We'd have to start with its economy, obviously. With the GDP of $25.5 trillion, the U.S. economy is the largest in the world. The country has leveraged its position as the world's strongest economy to exert greater influence on global markets and trade. The most notable aspect of the U.S. influence on the global economy would be the fact that the U.S. dollar is a primary reserve currency worldwide. Likewise, the U.S. has diplomatic relations with several countries as an active participant in several international coalitions, the G7, G20, and OECD. Notwithstanding the U.S.'s place in NATO, the country is also considered a superpower in the Americas because of its dominance in the region. For example, the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement shows how every major decision, trade or otherwise, in the region is overseen by Washington. The country allocates an annual budget of $800 billion to its defense sectors, making it the world's most powerful military. This amount is used to improve upon the U.S.'s already state-of-the-art military innovations, including its nuclear arsenal. The U.S. Navy, as an example, operates 11 aircraft carriers, more so than any other country. The United States exerts its global presence in defense too. Currently, there are military bases in over 70 countries. Its position as the most powerful country in the world is also because of its leading position in technology sectors. Namely, the United States is home to Silicon Valley, and tech giants such as Apple, Microsoft, and Google are based out of the US. On that note, the US makes efficient use of its leading technology and military sectors, often using them together. The US leads in drone warfare with an extensive fleet of unmanned aerial vehicles used for surveillance and precision strikes. Cybersecurity is another critical area where the US invests heavily, developing robust defenses and offensive capabilities to protect against and respond to cyber threats. Thanks for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and while you're here, check out some of our other videos.